I was watching a TV show the other day, and it was talking about alchemy and how the male and the female can be fused into one form called the hermaphrodite. And it dawned on me that we have a lot of these creatures, walking around us that have both male and female characteristics. The wide shoulders, deep manly voices. A lot of them won't straight up admit that they're hermaphrodites, but they'll say that they're a woman. But so how did these things come to be? At some point, I believe that an alchemists or whatever, used their dark art on pregnant women to basically interfere with the chromosomes, or the mess with the chromosomes of the child, to create an alchemical process to basically fuse male and female forms together. They created hermaphrodites. And then there's also, the serpent seed aspect of it. I think it ties a lot into the serpent seed of the Canaanites that has, intermingled with Europeans over hundreds and thousands of years. There seems to be some kind of breeding program of breeding these hermaphrodites. And of course, none of them will go on the limb and admit to the actual truth of what they are, and the truths of the process. So we have to speculate and try to piece together the mysteries. But this is how this TV show blatantly revealed to me that it is an alchemical process to try to fuse male and female together into one form. And what do you see on TV? You see these hermaphrodites, these male she-he's, Baphomets. And that's what the Baphomet is. It's a melding of the two, the divine feminine, the feminine and the masculine. So you got these Baphomets on TV, these long-necked creatures, Adam's apples, wide shoulders, big brow ridges. Some of them I don't even think are hermaphrodites. But the long necks are a key giveaway of their fallen angel DNA. That's a trait of these giants. So these Nephilim had long necks. So that's one of the key traits of them. Have long necks. I don't know, they just look very alien in appearance in general. What it has to do with, big pharma, sorcery, and alchemy. Alchemy came before chemistry, and chemistry makes sorcery. Chemistry makes pharmakia. It makes, the substances that can affect genetic and chemical change and spiritual change. So these alchemists, these chemists, sorcerers, have figured out how to invert children in the womb. And I've also figured out how to make hermaphrodites or intersex people. But I also think it has a lot to do with chemical factors, alchemical factors, and the environment, like estrogens in the environment, the chemtrails. But really, the chemistry goes back to the ancient practice of alchemy and trying to transmute a substance into something else. So trying to invert, an offspring is trying to transmute it from one opposite to another. So inversion is fundamentally alchemy, or the process of transmuting something into something else. Just as they try to turn lead into gold, they try to change male into female, or make it both female and male. So that's the secret behind this, is alchemy. And this has been blatantly revealed to me. So, it seems to me that alchemy and sorcery are kind of the same thing, because are heavily involved with each other. Because if pharmakeia is sorcery and chemistry is alchemy, and chemists make the drugs that affect alchemical transmutations, then that would make them sorcerers and alchemists, or alchemists. So one must wonder why are these, what is in it for these sorcerers, or whoever these high level warlocks are, that what is in it for them to create these abominations, to create these, what's in it for them to create these hermaphrodites? Clearly it's the worship of the Baphomet, but how does it affect how does it transmute the reality that we live in? What difference does it make? Clearly it's an affront and rebellion against God's creation. Clearly it's an affront to what has naturally been created by God. So clearly that is one of their goals, is to offend God, to create abominations, to create alchemical abominations, splicing genes together, using sorcery, pharmakeia, to affect alchemical change. So I'm just going to title this video, Alchemy Creates Hermaphrodites, or Intersex. At its core, to ask the question, is chemistry, since it's based in alchemy, is chemistry not witchcraft? Does that not make witches alchemists or chemists in some way, since they're always blending up substances together to try to make, potions or whatever? So how are chemists any different than witches, trying to make drugs for pharmakeia, big pharma, to poison and kill human beings? You know, in a way, what Moses was allowed to do by God was alchemy when he transmuted the Nile into blood, the water into blood. So that was alchemy. And also, when Jesus was able to multiply the amount of bread and fishes, that was transmutation or alchemy. Or he created kind of like something out of nothing, like more out of less. Um, but that was coming from God's power, from God Himself doing that. And then in a way, cloning someone is kind of like alchemy because you're taking one of their cells and you're like using it to create a new organism. Taking, I don't really know how the cloning works, but so yeah, chemistry I think is witchcraft. Science is based in witchcraft, and the occult comes from magic. Also the way God, when He created man out of clay, that was alchemy, transmuting the clay into man himself, in His image, like a sculptor sculpting man out of the clay. Pretty much what God did. He sculpted us out of clay. He dug up some dirt, sculpted us, and He breathed life into us. Jesus said, "I am the breath of life." So that's what He did. Because God is life, therefore He has the power to give life.